Okay, so what do you think happens when we die?
I think after you die, you have memories of everything, of all of your good moments. You see your different memories and you relive all those past things. And then I think depending on how you lived your actions, you're going to go into whatever you believe. So for me, I think it's going to be heaven. I think I'm going to be reunited with family, see the goodness, see God, and live that type of lifestyle.
Right. Okay. So where does your belief stem from?
I would say from my family, from religion. I was raised in a very Christian household. We believed in certain things. My grandparents definitely embarked many religious and spiritual tendencies upon me, and so I always believed in that, and I lived my life through that. So I think that's probably where it came from. It's probably my family, and then definitely just like the church.
Okay, so since you believe in heaven, what does that look like to you?
I think genuinely it's going to be something indescribable. I know that's a horrible way to answer, but I think that like I, as myself, as like a human on earthbound, cannot actually say how magnificent it's going to be. I think that like we're going to be reunited with family. That is one of the things that I hope for, and I definitely think that it is going to happen, is that we're going to be surrounded by people who love us, who we love. Our souls are going to be reunited with those people we've lost, and then also it's just going to be unimaginable. It's going to be beautiful.
Okay, and how do you think you get into heaven? Additionally, who populates heaven? For example, if you're Christian, is everybody in heaven Christian? Or what do you think about people who have lived before Christianity?
Right.
How do you think they get into heaven?
So I think God is definitely, though we are taught to like fear God, but I think he's honestly a God of forgiveness. I think that he sees the good in people, and he's going to allow people to come into heaven if they are good. And even if someone lives their life, let's say they haven't proclaimed God as their sole who they believe in, but they live their life in such a good way, and they're a good person, and they genuinely are that good type of person that cares about people. I think that it would almost be wrong for him not to allow that type of person in heaven. So I think it's going to be surrounded by good people. I think
whoever's good.
I think so, and I think also definitely by whoever says that they do proclaim Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior. That is kind of what I believe, as in those people are going to be there.
Yeah.
But I think just by proclaiming him, that definitely doesn't just give you a right away into heaven. I think you have to live your life as a good person. So I think there's different parts of it. So I think in heaven, in general, there's going to be just people who live their life to the goodness that they thought they could live, to that type of...
Okay. And who do you think runs heaven, and who do you think runs hell, and what do you think they look like?
So I think I picture God, I mean, I have a very clear perception of Jesus in my head. I see green or brown eyes, I see brown hair, the long nose. I see exactly what this little girl, she painted a picture. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but she painted a picture. Yeah. So I see that. That's who I see. I've always seen it as that person, as Jesus. And I see him welcoming you as you go into heaven's gates. Like that's just what I picture. It might be whatever, but that's what I see. And so I think he runs heaven. And I think hell is definitely like strange for me, because I think that it does exist, but I think it's not what people think it is. I don't even know if I think that like the quote unquote Lucifer or Satan runs hell. I think that it's just genuinely like the bad people who cannot be forgiven have to reside somewhere, and maybe it's along some line they might be forgiven in some type of way, but I don't know if the devil,
I don't even know like how to bring this up, but like in class we were learning about like Greek mythology and like different sections to it, like how there is like, if you've sinned but it's not that bad, you go to a section. If you've done really bad things, you go to a different section. If you've done unforgivable things like murder, you're going to like the worst of the worst, like torture. So,
definitely I've seen that. That's definitely along the lines of like different books and stuff that have also written about the different levels of hell and like the different levels of like that type of damnation. And I think that it does kind of somehow, it is kind of a truth. I don't think that like that murder is on the same thing as stealing, or that like someone who sinned once is the same thing as someone who continues to sin. I think that there's a lot of forgiveness, and I think God is a very forgiveful kind of God.
So do you think, like, this is not even a question, like, do you think, like, like you said, like, somebody who has stolen or somebody who has done something that's not that bad can go to heaven, or do you think they, like, serve their time?
I think that we're all sinners. I think that there are a list of sins, and I think that genuinely we're all sinners, and we were made imperfectly perfect. Like, that's like the one thing that resonates with me is that we were made imperfect. Like, he knows our flaws, he knows we're sinners. That's why he sent his son to die for our sins, because he knows that how we are and how we are as humans. And I think that by doing that, he understands that there are certain things that we are going to do and we are going to sin, but it's the forgiveness that he offers us, and if we're there to accept it, then I think that leads us into heaven. And I think that we just have to be willing to be like, I messed up, I did this wrong, and I recognize it, and I want to move past it, and I think he will forgive us and let us go there.
Okay, so finally, what do you think a day in heaven or hell is like? Most people spend time only thinking about rules of getting into the afterlife, but little time on what the experience is actually like. So I want you to consider what the stricter issues that may come up. For example, like, can you interact with people that don't speak your language? Or if your dead pets are in the afterlife, can you feed them, clean up after them? If you were a widow or widower, who are you married to in the afterlife?
True.
Or, last one, do people look as what we want them to look like? Or can they choose to look like? So that was like a lot. So whatever you can remember.
So I think what I picture heaven to be is, I think everybody's on a set age of, like, I don't know why I picture this, but like 30.
Like,
or like
middle
20,
age.
20, 30s.
Yeah.
They're in whatever they think is their prime, and that's what age they'll be.
Yes, and I think, sorry.
No,
like,
you're good.
Even if, like, you pass away as a child, like, I think you are, like, still in your middle age.
Yeah.
Or you could be a child, too. Like, I don't know. I even know what I think.
Our souls, because that's what, like, it's not us, it's our soul is what's going into heaven. I think that it has its own being, and I don't even know if we'll, like, look the same, but I know we'll recognize each other. Like, for example, like, I know that people that I've lost, like I might not be able to see their face, and I might not be able to recognize them, but I know it's them. And I don't know if that's gonna be the same. I know that different preachers have talked about that, but who knows. And I think that, like, a day in the life of heaven, I think, well, time is such a construct, and I think that in heaven, like, time won't really matter because we're there for eternity.
Yes.
So it's like, who knows what a day is, right?
That's crazy.
And so, like, I think that we'll just be surrounded by people we love. I mean, like, we'll be praising God, I would hope, in heaven, and, like, and we'll just be reunited with people we love. And I would hope to see my dead pets. I hope Roscoe's up there.
I hope,
I'll tell you, I hope he's up there.
Yeah.
But I don't know, and I just think that that's kind of what heaven would be like. It's just pure happiness and just faithfulness and, like, forgiveness. And then hell, I think that it's yourself reliving all your past sins.
All
I think
your
it's
bad things, like,
I
feeling
think
regret,
I feel like
learning from it.
The show Lucifer had it in there, where instead of being tortured, they just were, like, reminded of every single bad thing they'd done over and over and over again. So it was their own type of hell, because they just kept reliving all their mistakes. And I think that's kind of what it might be like. I think that, like, there might be different levels to it, but I think that we live with a very forgiveful God, and I think he really cares about us, and I think he wants forgiveness for us. So I don't think hell is as populated as everybody thinks it is. I think it's less populated.
The levels again. Okay, and last one, like, I already said it, but I'm just curious because I wouldn't even know how to answer it. So if you can't answer it, that's fine.
You're perfect.
But if you were a widower, who do you think you're married to in the afterlife? Like, is it the person that passed away, or are you just reunited? Like, what if you remarry and they die? Like, are you with the person that you were married with? I know it's a hard question because I literally don't know how to answer that. Like, I don't know.
I don't know if marriage is technically like a construct in heaven.
Yeah.
I think that there are definitely loved ones
together.
Yeah, I think that, like, being reunited with somebody that you've been with, like, let's say, like, I was married to a guy for, like, 5 years and he passed away. And then I got remarried a couple years later, and we lived together for 50 years. it's like, obviously I'm gonna have more of a connection, even though it sucks, I'm gonna have more of a connection to that second marriage because we were married for 50 plus years versus the guy who was just married to 5 years. So it's like, even though I'm like, I was first married to him, I believe this thing, it's like through his grace and through God's grace and everything, I was able to move on and meet someone else who I also thought was my soulmate. So I think that definitely, like, I don't know if there's marriage in heaven. I mean, I would hope there is.
Like you're all together.
I think that it's all together. You're surrounded by loved ones, and I don't know if technically the technicalities matter, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I am so interested in our next interview because I know Maddie over here, the next person we're going to interview, is not as religious as us. So we're about to get into that.